We all know what loneliness feels like, right? It's that empty ache. But what if I told you that feeling isn't just a feeling? What if it's a physical alarm, something hardwired into our biology for our very survival? Today, we're going to dig into the science that shows your social life is just as critical as your diet or your workouts. And trust me, you're about to see your relationships in a completely new light.
Okay, let's just jump right in with this idea, which is, well, it's pretty shocking. I want you to read that again. This isn't poetry. It's not a nice turn of phrase. It's a statement of biological fact. That ache you feel from rejection, from being isolated, your brain actually processes it like a real physical wound.
So that's a huge claim, right? How can a feeling actually be a physical event? Well, let's look at the incredible research that first pulled back the curtain on this amazing connection between our emotions and our actual physical bodies. Okay, so picture this. Back in 2002, scientists put people into these fMRI brain scanners. And while they were in there, they had them play a super simple online game, just tossing a ball back and forth. But then, here's the twist. The other players suddenly stopped throwing the ball to them. The whole point was to see what social rejection actually looks like inside a living brain.
And what they found, it was absolutely mind-blowing. The exact same parts of the brain that light up when you experience physical pain, the parts that scream when you break a bone, they fired up intensely the moment that person was left out of the game. The brain was sending out a genuine injury alert.
And this is the core takeaway. On a deep neurological level, your brain doesn't really distinguish between a broken heart and a broken bone. To its wiring, pain is pain. A wound is a wound. And get this, it explains why some studies have even found that taking a Tylenol, a physical painkiller, can actually reduce the emotional pain of social rejection. How wild is that? But, this isn't just about the sting you feel in the moment. The real danger, the serious one, is the long-term biological damage of being chronically lonely. It's the slow, quiet, cumulative cost that poses the biggest threat.
Let's put a hard number on it. The data is crystal clear. Living with chronic loneliness increases your risk of developing heart disease by a whopping 29%. Just think about that. That's a massive, measurable threat to our physical health, and it stems directly from our social lives.
So here's the point that should really make you sit up and listen. We are told constantly about the dangers of smoking, right? Well, the research frames chronic isolation as being just as lethal to your long-term health as smoking a pack of cigarettes every single day. Just let that sink in for a second. This really forces us to question our whole modern culture of celebrating extreme independence. Are we really being strong and self-reliant? Or are we just ignoring a fundamental biological need? The science suggests that when we cut ourselves off, we aren't thriving. We're actually slowly and quietly causing ourselves physical harm. So, why? Why are we wired up like this? Why does being alone hurt us so badly? Well, the answer isn't in our modern world. It's deep in our evolutionary past. It's in the ancient programming that's still running the show in our brains today. For thousands upon thousands of years, our brains and bodies evolved to live in small, tightly knit tribes. And in that world, being cast out, being alone, it wasn't just a sad feeling. It was a death sentence. No protection, no one to share food with, no help. That deep primal alarm bell that goes off when we feel isolated, that's ancient survival software and it's still running. And this is where the modern trap comes in. Our ancient brains are starving for real connection, but our phones are feeding them a cheap substitute. We call it junk food socialization. A like, a quick comment, a story view. It's like the candy bar of social interaction. It gives you a quick sugar rush that tricks you into feeling full, but it leaves your body and soul totally malnourished. So, if we're all hooked on this social junk food, what's the antidote? How do we find real, actual social nutrition? Well, the solution is surprisingly simple. It's all about making one crucial shift in how we act. The move is beautifully simple. Step 1, stop the endless scrolling and passively liking hundreds of posts. Step 2, start actively connecting. Pick one person, send a real message, make an actual phone call. It's all about taking that energy you're spreading so thin and focusing it into one deep, meaningful channel. And that brings us right here to a direct challenge for you, right now. As you're listening to this, who popped into your head? We all have someone. That friend, that family member you keep telling yourself you'll call, but, life gets in the way. This isn't just about catching up. This is about actively taking care of your own biological health. I'm going to leave you with this last powerful thought, and I need you to know this is not an exaggeration, it's not for dramatic effect, based on everything we've just looked at, the brain scans, the heart disease risk, our evolutionary wiring. This is a statement of pure biological fact. Your social health is your physical health. Tend to it.